Oh, excellent. I'm sorry. And everyone got paid. Like Ian got a big airdrop. Maurizio must have got amazing airdrop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some stuff that I think is going to blow you away on the fundamental side because I'm all over this, right? Like it's a big trade for me. I'm going to let this one ride, and I think
All right.
yeah, we got people here. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Hell yeah! What a day. What a day. Just throw an emoji in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling, and I'll let you know how I'm feeling. I'm like Trump, jerking off to guys, jerking off to guys. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Trump dance. All right, guys, it's an excellent day. Let me share and I'll get going.
Sorry, Scott, you're just muted.
Happy Bitcoin $100,000 for those who celebrate. I think it's an amazing thing. I think we ought to stop for a minute and just think, like, did anyone really think a couple of years ago that Bitcoin was going to be $100,000? Like, I knew it would happen eventually, but wow. And can I get a hell yeah in the chat? Because it feels like everything changed yesterday. It's a very big deal for us. And I woke up this morning with my phone just blowing up with messages from normies that I haven't spoken to in years. They're all like, "Hey, bud, how are you, man? How about them Bitcoins?" And Caroline said the same thing. Everyone said the same thing. So retail investors are back, and the normies are back. So there's something that I need you to get into your heads, is that the old game was this sort of player versus player. We're all going to rush into meme coins, and we're all going to rush into Solana, and then we're all going to rush into the cult coins, and we're all going to rush into DeFi, and we're all going to rush into the dinosaur coins. And it's just this player versus player slosh of rotations. That was the game for the last year. That's not the game anymore. The game has changed. Retail investors are back, and retail investors, in my view, are a lot dumber than us. They're going to invest in two ways, in my view. This is what I think. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to wake up and they're going to ape with the same stuff that they had in their wallets from last time. The Doge, the ETH, Bitcoin, Doge, ADA, and they're going to think, I already did the research on that. They're not going to jump into esoteric altcoin bags right away. They're absolutely spunking over XRP right now. They aped into the dinos. So the idea that some of you, and some of the coaches too, I want to caution you about going to esoteric altcoin, promising rando weird projects just yet. All those weird esoteric altcoin projects, the low cap ones that you're all interested in because they can 100x, they're going to 100x later. But I think before they get to that, they'll get to the new coins like Pendle, Sui, SEI, ENA, Tau, and the one that I want to talk to you about today is Hype. But first of all, I just want you to remember what we've been through to get to here. It has been a shitty time. No amount of spin can make that untrue. In a moment, I'm going to show you all of my wallets and show you all of my transactions for the year. And this sort of marketing bullshit challenge we set ourselves at the start of the last cycle, it wasn't actually the start of the year, it was October last year, whatever. We're going to turn 5K into 1 million in 2024. And as of this morning, it hit 1.269, which is quite remarkable. I've never done that before. But I'm going to open up all of my wallets and show you what I'm holding and blah, blah, blah in a minute. And when I went through it and did a proper audit yesterday, it wasn't skill. It was like really crappy trading on my behalf in the last year. It was really, there were some big mistakes but some massive wins that made up for all the mistakes. So we're going to go through that. But the thing that you might have missed is that this is since the bull run started in October. Bitcoin, Ethereum has lagged, but right now, look at altcoins just overtook Bitcoin. This is very, very important. Very important. Now, just this morning, there was a really insane 15% liquidation candle on Bitcoin, just, leverage wipeout. You can see it here. This is a 5-minute chart. And what happened is that not only usually you see altcoins get savage, Bitcoin's down 15%, alts are down 30%, everyone gets wiped out. But look, alts really weren't down that much. They were down like 8 or 9%. And they've already recovered way up above where they were. So Bitcoin went down and has recovered a little bit. Alts barely went down and kept going up. What does that tell us? It tells us that we've got buying. Now, I feel very strongly that this is the time for a big targeted bet on a breakout hit for this alt season. And my personal bet is on the Hyperliquid ecosystem with the Hype coin, which was launched last week. Now, I talk a lot of bullshit on these calls. So anytime you see a smooth talking, handsome young bullshitter like me, you should be very careful to not pay too much attention to what I fucking say, and you should pay a lot of attention to what I do. So I want to show you that I have $486,000 and 38,000 Hype tokens. So this is not some random bullshit thing that I'm just making up. I've got $500,000 US in a bet. We're going to ride this one of the beach kids. And you can see that the price action, this indicator is a volume weighted average price on a 1-hour chart, has been very, very orderly and smooth. The market cap now is 4.2 billion, which is still very, very low for what it is. It's not overvalued. It's not overhyped. It's not even close to fair. So let's start with the product. Americans get invested in Hype. You use USDC to buy it on the Hyperliquid blockchain, which is hyperliquid.xyz. Caroline, can you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen? Got someone in the chat saying they can't.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. All right. So we'll get to the mechanics of how to do it a bit later, but let's start with the product. So the product has been very, very true to an ethos. And this is in their own words. The Hyperliquid Genesis pays homage to the original ethos of Bitcoin. Ownership goes to the believers and doers, not the rent-seeking insiders. So they didn't take any VC money. There's no VCs who are going to sell out to dump the thing at the end of the cycle. They gave all the money to the early believers and the early users. And we were very early to use this screen. Kathy, if your flag is coming from a restricted country, just use a VPN like everyone else does. The VPN that I recommend is Mulvad VPN. It's a very good VPN. I use it all the time. And yeah, I think it's going way higher. So Hyperliquid is growing so fast that it's going to be the third biggest exchange very soon. And even though you watch it and go, everyone's waiting for a pullback to get position, and the pullbacks are just gobbled up, snaffled up. And they've done some brilliant things. The first thing they did is right from the start, Mullen, it's going to be yesterday, Coinbase did $10 billion in volume. It was an exceptional day for Coinbase. Hyperliquid did $8.5 billion yesterday. They're almost going to overtake Coinbase, dude. Yeah. So they've listed coins really, really fast. If I look at the coins that they list in their perps, they've got all these esoteric, weird dog shit, like all the degenerate leverage stuff, the dinosaur coins. This is a good series of coins to trade. They've also played very fair with the funding. On all points. So they've listed coins very fast. They've incentivized liquidity, and we're going to dig into that in a minute. You can actually contribute to the Hyperliquid market maker, and you get paid an absolutely incredible return for doing it. They've given all the profits back to the users. And what I mean by that is that this is the liquidity provider, the market maker, which you can put in and you just share the profit. You can see up until here in the early days, it wasn't very big, but then they started sharing. You can see the exact moment they started sharing liquidations. So the liquidations go to the people who contribute to their market maker. And if you look at this is just the best equity curve you've ever seen. This is way better than anything I've done. So it's super, super generous. And by giving liquidations to the users, total liquidations now are $8.71 billion. They've just given away. They should, every other exchange would keep this to themselves. They've just pissed away $8.7 billion in cash to the people who invested in this just to make their coin look better. That's really what they've done. And this Hyperliquid Vault you can invest in by just going to the Hyperliquid Vault, clicking on liquidity provider, and I've used it in the past. In the past month, it was 34%, but it's 34% with an all-time maximum drawdown of 5%. It's just steady and smooth and rock solid, brilliant for users. I absolutely recommend this for someone who's very risk averse, wants, and you know, I've played around with it. I've earned a little bit of money on it. My performance on it, I made $2,000 and I still got a little bit in it. It's a very, very generous offer. Now, the next thing that they've done is they've made the product incredibly good. So in the chat, put, it's not 34% per month, it's 34% per year with a maximum drawdown of 5.6%. Yes, you do need a VPN to run it in the US. We've got videos on it in the 100x Coin Club, and I'll send one of those out today in the email. So now in the chat, if you've ever gotten annoyed with all the hoops you have to jump through to log into a centralized exchange, like they send you the email codes and you get the authenticated code and you click this and fill out the brain teaser and the hoops, the fucking hoops, freedom. It sucks. Everyone says it sucks. So let's disconnect and let's connect, and let me show you how it is. Connect, and I've got a hardware wallet, so you can put a ledger and have a hardware wallet, and now we're connected. Yeah, send a video of yourself holding a sign with your ID card with today's date. Fuck all that. So logging in was very, very simple. It was just click. One click. Can you do that again? I won't, but it's because it's one click that it's so easy. And you have a hardware wallet if you want one, which you should have a hardware wallet. And so what I find myself is that anytime I see random stuff popping off during the day, most of the time if I'm faced with the choice of, do I want to get out my authenticator and log into Binance and get the email code and come back here and copy and paste, and I don't see very well, I got to put the glasses on. If I'm just like, oh, fuck, that's a good trade popping off right now, I'll just one click load Hyperliquid and DJ. Yeah. In the top right here. And you deposit more funds by clicking over here. And the experience. Who's used DeFi here? Who's used Jupiter? This is the biggest DEX on Solana. You swap by going like from this to this, and you swap, and it's a very weird thing. It's not like using a centralized exchange, whereas this is exactly like using a centralized exchange. So if we look at some perp positions, I got long Doge yesterday. It went up a bit, and I'm underwater now, but I'm $200 underwater, and I'm short Link. Let's have a look at that, and you can see I've got a stop loss up here, and here's my profit and loss, and I can zoom, and it's not like a DEX. It's really, really good. The product is incredibly good. The big thing is that I know from experience that our number one problem as a business is how do we get USA users to a place where they can have leverage and they can trade short. And this is very, very difficult for US users. We've got DYDX version 4, which is very good. I think this is better. Now, when we integrated DYDX version 4, it was 4 times as big as Hyperliquid. Now Hyperliquid is 5 times as big as DYDX. And the big thing, like the really important thing, is that there is a huge demand for perpetual futures inside the USA. And now that Donald Trump has said no one's getting prosecuted, all you have to do is load a VPN and you can use Hyperliquid. So in my view, startups are a bet on the founders. Microsoft didn't work because it was a great idea. It worked because Bill Gates was an animal. Facebook didn't work because it was a great idea. There was already MySpace. It worked because Zuck is an absolute animal of a CEO. Weird dude, but whatever. And I have friends in the HFT world who tell me that this guy who founded it was a tier 1 high frequency trading engineer at one of the best firms. But also my friend Corey from Newfound Capital, he knows him personally, and he said he's the guy who Sam Bankman-Fried was pretending to be. So I really think that Jeff has shown evidence of strategic brilliance at every step in the way. He's making it so very profitable and easy to trade on Hyperliquid. He's being overly generous with sharing the wealth with users that users will be forced to adopt. Now, his name is Jeff Yan. Now, excuse me one second. Hey, baby girl. And mommy go to the toilet. Do they not take you? They go to the toilet together or separate?
Separate.
Okay, you can stay here while I go to the toilet, okay? Okay, so the thing that FTX did, which was bad, was they stole everyone's money. The thing that FTX did that was very clever was they allowed cross-margining, and they made it very easy to make money on FTX, which is, and it just kind of honeypotted every professional trader that I know was on FTX, including me. And they've done the same thing without the crime because it's all on chain. Every aspect of this is on chain. You can see it. It's almost impossible for them to crime. And you can see that the inflows are just going vertical. Like they've got this huge amount of money, and it's powered by this liquidation engine. The users who trade perpetual futures have just lost money like an automated losing machine. All of this money that they've cumulatively lost is going to these guys. And they're sharing it out. They're not keeping it for themselves. So what did they do specifically? They took no venture capitalist money, so nobody's looking to pump and dump. So the usual thing that happens, like with Solana, VCs bought in Solana at $1. As soon as it got to $200, they were looking to exit. Exactly so, Fred. You get a piece of that, you get 80% of that pie by being a HLP provider. So they gave a $1.8 billion airdrop, which is the largest in history. They gave all the liquidation to the HLP providers, which is $8 billion in cash incentive given to members at just this incredible Sharpe rate ratio. Like it's risk adjusted. It's one of the, like, much better than FinRev, much better than I can do. Like if you like FinRev is more or less about 100% a year with 35% drawdowns max. This is 30% a year with 5.6% drawdowns max. You run the math, they're beating me. Now, what they do is they're allowing what's called cross margining. So what this does is it lets me do a trade called a basis trade if I want. So we have two markets. We have the hype spot market, and we have the perp market. The perp market is the leverage market. If FinRev was on Hyperliquid, it would be doing even better. We are integrating it as we speak. Now, here's the thing you can do. Here's the tricky move, is you can long the spot and simultaneously short the futures. This is called a basis trade, and you get paid 36% to do that. Not bad. Not bad at all. 36% without taking directional risk. Pretty good. Now, they refuse to pay Binance, and the only reason to do a basis trade is to not have risk correct freedom. Hype is on perp, on Bybit, and yesterday they launched on Hyperliquid. Now, one of the things I really like about Hyperliquid is how fast they move. Like the airdrop was only a week ago and they're already listing perps. They're fast. Like he executes like an absolute machine. Now, they refuse to pay Binance. And usually if you want a coin listed on Bybit or Binance, you have to give them a couple of % of supply just as a bribe. They refuse to do that. So now, if we go back to the spot market, if Binance wants to list it, they have to go into the market with everyone else and buy hype like everyone else. Oh, look, $500,000. So Binance and Bybit and all of the other exchanges who are planning on listing it, Bybit listed the perp yesterday, but they haven't got enough coins to list a spot market. They have to buy like all the other peasants. Exactly. Amazing. Now, they only gave the airdrop to users who use the product. So the airdrop farmers who had like 100 accounts, they all got fucked. They all got only 2% of the airdrop. You okay there, little Bubba? You want to keep moving? No? You okay? Daddy loves you, Bubba. Isn't my daughter beautiful? You gonna wave for the people? Big smile. Give me one wow. So previous airdrops, like the Jupiter airdrop. Yeah, she's super cute, right? A hybrid vigor. Takes after her mum. She looks a lot like me, but luckily mum's beautiful and I'm a gorilla. So most airdrops were given to people who would immediately sell the airdrop and go farm a new coin. So that's just totally pointless. So how should Hyperliquid be valued? Should it be valued as an exchange coin? Well, maybe. If it's valued as an exchange coin, I think it's worth 10 billion today and 50 billion by the end of the cycle. But as a high performance layer one, which is what it really is. So this is the Solana real-time transaction per second count. Between 800 and 1100 transactions per second. Yesterday, Hyperliquid did 200,000 transactions per second. So everyone talks about Hyperliquid. Everyone talks about Solana as being the high performance layer one. Hyperliquid's much better. I think that's important. Now, yesterday, Hyperliquid did 8.5 billion in volume compared to Coinbase, which did 13 billion. Very, very, very close. Compared to Binance, which did 30 billion. So Kunyai. Solana's doing 1,100 transactions per second. Hyperliquid's doing 200 times that. It's a big deal. So its current market cap is 4.1 billion. At an absolute minimum, this should be $10 billion market cap, but it's growing and the market is repricing those coins. If we look at how fast it's growing, here's the volume. Total volume has been growing the whole time, right? Even through the bear market phase, look at how total volume kept growing during the bear market phase. And look at what happened once they listed. It's just gone nuts. It's a holy smoke situation. This is a holy smoke situation. What we have is we are very early to a coin which is fundamentally a better business model than Binance and Bybit. We are very, very early to this. You can see the open interest. Look at how this is just going ballistic. Hype is a coin. The coin is for the Hyperliquid Layer 1 network. The Hyperliquid Layer 1 network has a killer app on it. And that's the way that you should think about it, because someone in the chat said they're confused. I'm confused. It's an exchange. Is it a coin? Is it a this? The way that you should think about it is it's a Layer 1 network like Solana. It happens to have a killer app on it. Anyone can build an app on it, and that killer app is an exchange. And the coin of the killer app is Hype. The price right now, $4.3 billion market cap. And if we compare it to the top 100 coins, this is the market caps, 1.9 trillion, 460. By the time we get down to number 8, Cardano is 40 billion. Tron is 27 billion. AVAX is 20 billion. I think at the very least, you have to say it's worth more than 40 billion, right? Any reason to buy the perp if we have a big bag of spot? No, only if you want to get leveraged, and I probably wouldn't. And there are Hyperliquid meme coins, and this is the list. We're going to go through them in a bit. Now, I believe the market will realize that this should be valued as a Layer 1, and it should overtake at the bare minimum Cardano and Tron. And if it's valued like Binance coin, it should be 100 billion. This is the next exchange we're adding to FinRev. You can build any app on the Hyperliquid blockchain. We're building our whole trading systems out on the Hyperliquid blockchain. I am betting the company on it. I'm betting the whole company on it. I'm putting all my money in it. The best place to buy Hype is on the Hyperliquid exchange. And you should get an account on the Hyperliquid exchange, because once it's set up, it's really, really easy to use and excellent to use. Yes, I would, Rob. Yes, I would. Especially, Rob asks, I hold 16,000 ADA. Would you recommend removing this and placing it in Hype? You've done incredibly well in ADA. Incredibly well. I think flipping that into Hype. The fully diluted market cap, I checked a couple of days ago, was, it's probably changed overnight, so let's get it. Fully diluted valuation is 12 billion, but the roadmap is the rest of that is not held by VCs who are going to dump. It's all of the difference between today's market cap and the fully diluted valuation goes to users. So it's not like one of those VC coins where there's $12 billion worth of market cap that they're going to dump. These are just ecosystem rewards that are going to be handed out to people who use the exchange. So one of the things that I really strongly believe is that since they're going to give another $8 billion to the users of their exchange, you should really be using this exchange. Like, they're just pissing away money. We might have a call on how to add funds to Hype. And further, I believe this exchange is going to take business off Binance and Bybit. And I know this because I used to trade a lot on Binance and Bybit. Now I hardly trade at all on them. So I can wholeheartedly recommend owning Hype. How much of my portfolio should I put into Hype, Jim asked? Well, I've got 500 grand out of a total of about 2 million bucks in crypto. So about that. About 25% is probably about right. I think it's going to be the Solana of this alt season. You are still very early, but if you haven't got position, there isn't a moment to waste. So I'm just going to go through some stats on all of this. So you can see the total volume steadily rose, went exponential. You can see the open interest in coins is just going exponential. Like you can see that this is very, very clear. It's just growing. The volume is growing. The amount of money they give to their community through their market makers are huge. Getting 300 million worth of inflows a day, that's roughly the same as all the Bitcoin ETFs put together. Yes, you can transfer your portfolio from Coinbase to Hyperliquid. What you need to do is get it into USDC, which they have on Coinbase, and transfer that USDC to Hyperliquid. You can see the liquidity, which started out being quite sketchy, is now very, very good. This is the average slippage. Now, the thing that I want you to notice is that because all this is on chain, every single thing is on chain, it would be almost impossible for them to scam or rug or exit pool because you can just check who's the largest. You can check every user. You know, it's all out in the open. And if we look at daily new users, look at what happened here. The daily new users went from, 200, 300, 100 to 6,000, 1,000, 3,000. Like it's just adding. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's amazing coin. I think it's definitely a top 10 coin of the future. Now, if we look at the perpetual futures market, the total open interest of Binance is 37 million. We have 37 billion, sorry. We have 3 billion today. So it's a tenth the size of the perp market of Binance. Freedom, you can't transfer your coins to it, just USDC. Would I move some Retardio to Hype? Interesting question. No. Why don't we have a look at my wallets? So I want to show you. I want to show you my wallets. So we started out with $5,000 this year. And wait. Am I going to show you this? Basically, what I did is I did some Hyperliquid trading. I started out with that 5 grand. I ran it up to about 13. I took a $5,000 bet on Cock Inu coin, which went when it was still on chain. And I took this bet on Cock Inu about here, put 5 grand into it, took some profits here and got stopped out of the rest here. Turned $5,000 into 97 grand. Now then, if we go to my portfolio, because we can see this, right? Like it's all on chain. So you can all verify my wallet and see where it is. So I took that money and I traded back and forth on Hyperliquid. You can see that I ran it up 10, 26, 23, 25, had a good period. This was not particularly great trading, 32, up to 83. Fucked up, went down to 56, pulled it out, kept it out of there, only did minimal trading, got the airdrop and run it up, and now we're at, what are we at right now? We're at 500 grand. That I put into some meme bags. Okay, so what have we got? Retardio is way down. Retardio at one stage was 500 grand. So we've got Retardio 266 grand. We've got this one is nothing. We've got 32 grand in this one with lock-in, Solana, Fartcoin, Midge, Sigma, bunch of garbage shit that didn't work. And some derelict stuff. And what have we got here? Not much. 2 grand in this. So what have we got? We got 2 grand in MetaMask. We've got 31 grand in that one Phantom. We've got 264 in the other. We've got 500K in Hyperliquid. What else have we got? Let's go through. Let's see what we got here. Oh, here we go. We got 43 grand there, 0.43 Bitcoin. So we got 43 grand there. And what else have we got? Oh yeah, KuCoin, 117. I like trading on KuCoin, by the way. So we've got 117. We've got 45. What is this? Oh yeah. I've been pulling out and shoving in FinRev. Now, I completely fucked up my FinRev. When they changed to the unified fucking account setup, I didn't notice for 2 weeks. So I missed out on 2 weeks of gains. So I've only got 91 grand I've underperformed almost everyone on the stuff that I was pulling out. My other stuff is running fine. So I got to, this is only the account that I did the 5 grand to 1 million. So there's 91,000 in FinRev. And that's a total of $1.2 million. The Telegram bot wallets are this one. So pro tip, you can have your Telegram wallets on both things. So yeah, so there's probably a couple more grand floating around. There's always some odds and ends, but that's $1.2 million. And fuck, I've never done that before. And thank you very much for supporting me through that. And you can see that it hasn't all been great trading. What I've really, really done is taken a couple of big bets and let them ride when the time was right. This is the time to do that again. And, keep pulling it out, stashing it in FinRev every time I feel too fucking clever. ENA is back to the price that I bought it for. I'm not including ENA because I bought that in an account with money that I already had. That isn't including the 5 grand to 1 million challenge. But ENA is back to where it was. Hype is a better concept. So that's what I've done. I fucking took $5,000 in October last year, and that is today, right now, 1.269. Now, a lot of that is luck. Retardio was a massive winner. Cockinu was a massive winner. The Hyperliquid airdrop for me was like a massive windfall that I didn't deserve and didn't earn. I didn't earn it, and I didn't deserve it, and I didn't plan for it. It's just fucking luck. And you can't bet on luck lasting forever. This is the truth of it. I've been lucky. And it's better to be lucky than good. But the problem isn't making the money. It's not fumbling the bag when it all is. So we set a goal this year of going from 5 grand to $1 million. Yeah, David, you have to enable unified trading accounts. Caroline, could you reach out to David, please? I also fucked myself with that. The real problem isn't making the money. It's not fumbling the bag when it all ends. And let's be honest, and as great as crypto bull markets are, this is my third, crypto bull markets will end. And we're just at the start of the normie cycle. But the game isn't how much you keep, isn't how much you make, it's how much you keep when it's all over. And I want to show you today my plan for making $10 million in 2 years from crypto, starting from $5,000. And then my plan for turning that $10 million into $100 million. And I'd like you to join me with it. Hell of a thing, right? It's 5,000 to 1 million sounded impossible until I did it. Who wants to bet against me that I won't take that $1 million and turn it into 10 next year? And who wants to bet against me that I won't take that 10 and turn it into 100 over the next couple of years? It's totally possible. I'm gonna fucking do this. Like one time for everything. One time. One shot. Let's do it. Let's fucking do this thing. Let's bet on this shit. Let's fucking slay it. I want you with me on this. So I'm not going to give you a big marketing presentation. I'm just going to let the results speak for themselves. So let's look at how FinRev has done since way back in the day. You can see that FinRev is inherently an annoying strategy to live with. So I've benchmarked it against Bitcoin and Ethereum together. You can see that sometimes holding Ethereum and Bitcoin has been better. But holding just Ethereum and Bitcoin, you have to put up with, huge 80% drawdowns, 76% max drawdown. We have a max drawdown of 33%. We get a slightly better return, and a Sharpe ratio goes from 1.18 to 1.69. So, we're getting about a 40% improvement in risk-adjusted ratio. But what that really results in is, instead of this distribution where you make a lot of money on Bitcoin and Ethereum in 1 year and then you get fucked the next year, we're smoothing it out. So you can see in the distribution of monthly returns, we're just smoothing out those curves. So we make crypto, instead of being something that's insane that only nutcases like me can live with, it's steady and smooth and steady and smooth and does, 93% average a year in the real world after fees and costs, not some bullshit direct response math. It's a fucking unicorn of a product at a Sharpe ratio of 1.69. Now, Ray Dalio's Sharpe ratio was 0.9. Warren Buffett's Sharpe ratio is 0.74. George Soros's Sharpe ratio is 1. As good as George Soros and Warren Buffett put together, risk adjusted. That's what it is. But it has long drawdowns. Let's look at some drawdowns. It's got some long, cunty drawdowns. This has been a long, cunty drawdown. This is our underwater plot. You can see that we hit our worst drawdown ever just before we started to make a pile of money. Now, this is a very, very interesting phenomenon. It nearly always works this way. We hit our worst drawdown right before we print money. This is always the case with trend following for a bunch of reasons that I won't go in. So these are our returns monthly. What else can I show you? Important things. This is our rolling beta to benchmark. The blue line is 6 months and the gray line is 1 year. What you might think I'd be better off owning Bitcoin and Ethereum, but you can see that at best, we only have a 40 or 50% correlation to Bitcoin. But right now we have a negative correlation to Bitcoin. Neil says FinRev up 24% in the last 4 days, 108% since February. Fuck yeah, my man. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. And these are our daily returns. You can see it's a bit of a wild ride. Like you don't make money every day or even every month. And this is at 45 volt, by the way. So at 45 vol, the worst day we've ever had has been down 12%. The worst month we've ever had is down 22%. Compare that with holding Bitcoin and ETH. The worst day is 40%, and the worst month is 41%. Our best year isn't quite as good. The best year of holding Bitcoin and ETH, and our best year was only 221%. But our worst year holding Bitcoin and ETH was 65% down. Our worst year was 23% up. So what we're doing here, and what I want to be really clear about, is that we are taking a distribution of returns that is very difficult to deal with. It's very difficult to be a long-term crypto investor. We're making it something that's very easy to live with. Now, let me show you how much money we're running here. We are almost, let's see if we hit 20 million bucks today. Okay, we're at $19,690,000 in assets under management. Now let's see an average of all of our customers. These are at various volatility targets. These are all customers after fees and costs. 35 is the blue line. You can see that in the bad times, the blue line does better. And in the good times, the orange line does better. Unsurprisingly, more risk, more return. You can see that we've just gotten fucked for the last 8 months. And baby, look at me now. Now, this is why I wasn't concerned when I saw this big drop, because usually increase in volatility is strongly predictive of future profits. So this, I was actually really happy to see. I was happy to see some bitching from clients. I was happy. Yeah, I'll send it in today's email. Let me post it in the chat. Hold on one sec. One sec. Here you go, guys. Public records. Do it all in public. In the chat, you can see all the long-term results. Yeah. Let's look. Let me show you how the system works. So you log in, and the first thing you see is how much money you've put in, how much money you've got. I fucked this up, so don't worry about the numbers here. And then the next thing you see is the top 10 long and the top 10 short positions. Now you can see we're holding no short positions now. We can go into our positions and we can sort them by notional value. So our biggest position is Bitcoin, and we're long. All our biggest positions are Bitcoin. So in the chat, which of these coins would you like me to look at? BTC, BNB, Ethereum, SKL, ICP. I can show you a 100 volt account if you want. Sol. All right, here we go. Actually, FTM, because I'm interested, because I hold some FTM in my pair. So the way it works is we develop a signal. A signal is our forecast of, do we think it's going to go up or do we think it's going to go down? This is how algorithmic trading works. So all these dotted lines here are all our different signals, and they get averaged through a complicated process called portfolio management into one signal that rules them all. If this signal is like it was from here through here, we're going short. We're betting that it goes down. If this signal is positive, like it was from here through here, our signal is going up, and we're betting that the coin goes up. These little arrows are the amounts that we keep adding. So we add a little bit or we sell a little bit, and we're just playing around the edges. Andrew, that link for records, download the file and load it in a web browser. And it'll show up exactly like this. Okay, let's have a look at ETH. you can see, when did we get long ETH? We got long right here. So until then, until this day, we were betting that ETH was going to go down. Then ETH started to go up and we started to bet on it. And we added more here and added more here and added more here. Now we added more here and we added more here. It's amazing. Let me stop sharing for a minute and I'll load up a 100-volt account. I'll show you some shit that is going to blow your mind. This is fucking nuts. I can't wait to see this. All right. This is Timon, who ran his account at 100-volt, and he started off with like $200 in. At 100-volt, that $200 did nothing until we got a bull market, and then it went to 400 to 600 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 5,000 to 6,000. In that run, this is the run from November to March. He went from $300 odd to 21,000. He 20x'd. How much did he give back? He went from 21,000 through the long time of fuckery to 8,000. So he had 60% drawdown. But baby, look at him now. $200. He put more in. So he's put in a total of $4,000 and he has $27,000. But really, he put more in. He put more in after this. So it's an incredible result. Yeah, I think it's time to swing for the fences. So, yeah, what else can I show you? Okay, let me show you some signal performance. So we track how predictive our signals are. You can see over the last year, our signals are working better than at any time they have in the past. They predict more of the next day returns and more of the day 2 returns, more of the day 3, and more of the day 4 returns. The best feature we have by a mile is Bollinger Momentum, and this changes around. So anyway, where are we? If you missed out on making generational wealth in crypto, or if you got carted out on a stretcher in the last 6 months, last 6 months has been terrible. Like, let's be honest, but you got a second chance now. Now I want to show you what we've got running in test servers now. We're actually running this, but we haven't rolled it out to clients yet. I'm running it on my own money. We've got a huge improvement in FinRev 3.0. We've added 2 new edges, which I think will take us to the end game. The end game is taking us from Sharpe ratio of 1.7, which we're at now, until Sharpe 2.0. And that's the best return offered to anyone anywhere. The all-time greats of returns are Renaissance Technology, who got a Sharpe of 2.1 before costs and 1.9 after costs. So we're aiming to do something that's extraordinary, to be the best ever to do it, the best returns ever issued, the best of all time to go. And how are we going to do that? We're not going to do that by being the smartest in the history of the world, because that's ridiculous. I'm not the smartest in the history of the world. What we're doing is we're just finding an easier poker table to sit at. So when we take our existing trend signals, this is our existing trend signals look something like this: lumpy and bumpy and hard to live with. That's what our trend signals look like. Over the last year, it's only been a Sharpe of 1.18. When we take our existing trend signals and go long the top half and short the bottom half, so right now we're 100% long and we could be 100% short. When we say we're never going to be out of whack, it goes from being this lumpy and bumpy thing to being smooth and nice to live with, and the Sharpe ratio goes through the roof. When we add another edge, you get a diversification effect, the same way that owning 5 stocks is better than owning 1 stock. So carry is a Sharpe 1.78, but the big point is that it looks very different than what we have now, and that's important. So we have 3 slightly diversifying versions of carry to add. And when we blend them all together in a soup, instead of what we have now, which frankly has long periods of sideways, steep drawdowns. It's hard to live with. Honestly, it's hard to live with. FinRev users in the chat, you agree with me that FinRev is hard to live with? Because I think it is. And I built the system. Brutal. Absolutely brutal to live with. Some days, yeah, absolutely. It looks like it does nothing for months at a time. And then it just prints money. So what we're doing with FinRev 3.0 is making it smooth and easier to live with. It's not going to make any more money. It's just going to be easier to live with. In fact, I kind of prefer it the way it is now. How do you join the program? Let me show you. So I've already shown you how it works. What this is about compound. So if you get 100% per year on your compound, on your capital, starting with 10 grand, in 5 grand, you're at 320 grand. But that's not the real point. It's that a few more bends in the road, you're like 5 years isn't that long to wait. You're looking at 10 million bucks. It looks boring. It feels boring. It is boring. It is boring. Our strategy is done on average 93% a year. You're looking at $10 to $14 million in call it $10 million in 10 years. You know, if that's not enough for you, I don't know what to tell you. And what you really have to do with this system is not try and watch it every day. What you really want to do is just keep your hands off the steering wheel, just not mess with it, not pull it out, add more in when it's in drawdown. That's the best way. You can be highly confident that it's probably going to lose most money more than 50% of days, but at the end of the year, show a massive profit. So my goal for you is the ability to do whatever you want with wherever you want, with whoever you want, for as long as you want, and just use money as a tool to buy your freedom back. Let compounding do the real work. The big Actually, I'll get into some technical stuff in a minute. Because we're celebrating literally doing the impossible. The key to the high vol account, Freedom is right, is to just enter in a strong trend. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend that for everyone. Because we're celebrating doing the impossible, I want to give you all a deal of a lifetime. Here's the deal. Everyone who's here today gets $500 USDT for everyone who books a call today. And I'm going to grandfather that back for the last 2 weeks. So everyone who joined in the last 2 weeks or booked a call in the last 2 weeks, you're eligible for it. Just contact our sales team. Caroline will organize it. We'll give you $500 so you can get up and running trading today. We got 3 tiers of FinRev available today. FinRev Silver, which some of you have, it's $1,000 for 3 years. You have to manually enter the trades yourself. You've got yourself a new job to do. Some people prefer it. Our CMO, John, he prefers it. He and his wife do it every day. They love it. They're very happy with the returns. Gets about 75% of what FinRev does, but you have a job. FinRev Gold is what I've demonstrated to you today. It's what I use myself. It's just trend following. And it's 6,500 for 3 years of fully automated trend following trading. What happens at the end of the 3 years? Do I fuck you for another 6,500? No. I just charge you 20% of the profits we make together. If you don't make money, I don't make money. FinRev Platinum is different in 2 ways. The first of all, you have the option, if you want, of getting all the FinRev 3.0 improvements. The second, and in my view, better and more important feature is that the ability to run multiple accounts. So you might not be sure, for example, you might not be sure which exchange is going to work best because it changes all the time, right? It's not as simple as Bybit's better than Binance. It's absolutely not that simple. You can split your risk, or you might think that maybe Binance is going to rug it, or BitGet is going to rug it, or KuCoin's going to rug it. You can split your risk between exchanges. And I should say, you can run one of these degen accounts and go from 8,000 to 27,000 in a month. Don't have a referral program yet. Too busy at the moment. So that is 9,500 for 3 years of fully automated trading. So what do you get with that? You get 3 years of fully automated trading. Everyone in the company uses it. I use it. My parents use it. It's always been the plan. Take a few degen bets on altcoins, pull the profits back into this because it's safe and it keeps doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling. You get a VOP onboarding with one of our expert crypto trader coaches, not some customer service muppet from the third world. You get all the stats and monitoring I've showed you today. You can delay starting or pause at any time. So if any of you FinRev customers want to dump some money in Hype, you're welcome to pause your 3 years, dump it in Hype, pull it back. You're welcome. I encourage that kind of degenerate gambling. Your double your money guarantee is if you aren't in profit after the first 12 months using this. And I guarantee there'll be times in the next 12 months when you feel like, oh, this sucks. But at the end of the 12 months, if you aren't in profit, we'll let you use it for free until you've doubled your money. And so to get that $500, book a call at finrev.trade/call. And Platinum is exactly the same 3 years of automated algorithmic trading, the same VIP onboarding. The big difference is we completely custom design the system for your goals. So if you want to do straight degen, maximum profit taking target, we just do you trend following at high vol or multiple trend following accounts, one with a degen account, one with a more sensible leverage. You get both trend following and cross-sectional carry and cross-sectional momentum, which gives you a smoother and a faster return. Yeah, of course you can, man. Of course you can. And you get our double your money guarantee. If you aren't in profit after your first 12 months using the system, we'll let you use it for free until you've doubled your money. If you need a payment plan, a shorter commitment, longer commitment, whatever the hell, it's not some sort of high pressure sales call. It's just with our onboarding team, like Ian and Caroline and Maurizio and those guys. Just book in, tell them your situation. Our guys are cool, man. Like they'll sort you out. If you're carry trading is currently running on our test server and it's running well. And the situation is every day, Timon gets a few more bugs out. And when he's happy that there's few enough bugs left that we can run it for customer money instead of just our own, then we'll turn it on. So he thought it would be today, but I wouldn't bet on it. Yeah, I'm happy to take any and all questions. I really want to reiterate that Hyperliquid is the solid play. I wouldn't necessarily jump into Hyperliquid memes yet, but I would do a lot of research. The one that Maurizio really likes, Per is the first one, 154 million. The one that Maurizio likes, and he's better at this, is Pip, and H Fun and Jeff are the other, and Cat Bell. Between these, I don't know. I don't think any of them are really valued. I think it's probably a mistake to go balls in on these when the opportunity is so big in Hyperliquid, but I think they'll probably do very, very well. No, this is a really good question. Do you have access to the capital? I got burnt in Celsius Network before. Of course, never give your fucking money away. Never, ever give your money away, especially to someone like me. Like you shouldn't trust anyone in crypto. Like don't. So what we do is we give you an API key. That API key gives you the ability to trade the account, but not to withdraw. So we absolutely cannot have access to your money. You can just pull your money out of your Binance or your Bybit account. You don't have to ask us. You don't have to email support. You don't have to ask anyone's permission to access your own money. So what happens is, let's say you got 100 grand in there and you want to pull 50 grand out. You don't have to ask anyone's permission. You don't have to worry if we're going to be good for our word. You just pull the 50 grand out of your account. And then the next day the system goes, oh, wow, he's only got 50 grand. Let's build a new portfolio that's a 50 grand. That's a really, really good question. How is the 20% paid after 3 years? Quarterly invoice from a high watermark. And what I mean by a high watermark is that while we're in drawdown, we don't pay. So once a quarter, we ask the question, are we at the highest price ever? If we are, then we send you a bill for the difference between the 20% of the difference between the last time we sent you a bill and here. So you don't get a bill any quarter that you haven't got your money at all-time highs. Very, very good question. What if the exchange fails? Well, then you're fucked. So the way to mitigate against exchanges failing, and this is very important, is to split your risk between exchanges. So what I recommend is FinRev Platinum, split your risk between exchanges. In a practical world, what's going to happen? Let's say Binance goes broke. What do you think is going to happen if Binance goes broke? Every coin, every exchange is going to go down. We're going to make a lot of money on the surviving exchanges because we'll be betting against it. We'll be the only ones in the world short. But you'll get fucked on the one exchange. So the platonic ideal of a trading system is to split some for Hyperliquid, some from DYDX, some for this, some for that. So you want to split it up if you can. FinRev on Hyperliquid is we're doing it right now. We're building up. Can the 20% equal more than what we can buy in for? Yes. Yes, it can. If you want to stick with me in the long term, if I want to make you $10 million, I want to share it. Sorry, guys. If I deliver to you $10 million, I want to get paid. But also, if I don't deliver the $10 million because I'm just a big talking bullshitter marketer with no skin in the game, then I don't deserve to get paid. I really don't. I don't think it can go wrong in the bull market. I think it can be a very frustrating, cunty thing to do in a sideways market. And we've had long periods of going sideways. We've had long periods of going sideways. We've had long periods of going sideways. Look at how long some of these worst. Let's look at the worst 5 drawdowns. Let's not look at it all and it's great. Let's look at the worst 10 drawdowns. The worst drawdown we've ever had has been this year. We started in March 14 and we recovered here, and the drawdown was 33%. Oh, sorry. My bad. So these are our worst 10 drawdowns. Can everyone see these? So let's look at some drawdowns. This was our worst drawdown ever. This was our second worst drawdown ever. And it's one of those like worst drawdowns so far, because the biggest drawdown is the one you haven't had. And you can see here, we got to 33%. Worst drawdown since 2019. So this really, really is a horror movie that works out in the end. Let's look at our worst 10 drawdowns. Only a 33% drawdown, but 263 fucking days. Let's look at how it does perform in the bear market. Bear market performs really well. Our second worst drawdown is 28% for 63 days, 146. So it's not really the depth of the drawdown, it's how long they are. 263, 63, 146, 50, 145, 147. So we had the worst drawdown we've ever had and the best year we've ever had. How does it perform in a bear market? Bear market, 2019 up to 2020. This was bear market. Let me. No, I don't quite have the right tear sheet on me. But let's look at the bear market 2022. So the bear market, so this is the bear market here. Started here, right? Let me annotate. So the bear market is from here to really here. So Bitcoin and Ethereum lost 76% of its value and was a very, very awful time, hard to live with. You didn't get your money back until this week. We went up, went sideways for a while, went down and then up, down. Very frustrating time for me too, and then levitated straight up. So here's the bear market in its total. It wasn't great, but you never ever lost money, and you made a little bit of money. Black Note, can you send that message again? I'm sorry, I'm just like here on my own. Send it again. How do we transfer a FinRev account from Binance to Hype? Absolutely, you can do that. The sideways stability when everyone was bleeding out in the streets. Do you program in a bias based on the end of the 4-year cycle? No, we don't. I don't believe the 4-year cycle is predictable, and I don't think that rationally you can say that because something's happened 4 times in the past, it's definitely going to happen again. And I don't think you can rationally say that it rained the last 4 Tuesdays, therefore it's going to rain next Tuesday. I don't think that's true at all. I think, yeah, I don't think that's true at all. So all we are doing, we have 3 strategies. The first strategy is this one. We buy the shit that goes up and we sell the shit that goes down. And let me just share it again. And how does that work right now? That works. Sorry, you're gonna have to edit that out. I think I just doxed. Tim on there. Sorry, Caroline. The time here. I hate it when I do that. So right now we're holding Bitcoin, BNB, Ethereum. We're holding everything long, but our biggest positions by far are these. It just buys the stuff that goes up. When does it buy it? If we look at ADA, when did it buy ADA? It bought it right here when it started going up. When do we sell ADA? Well, when it starts to go down, obviously. We're buying more because it continues to go up. I'm sorry. Oh, thank God. I wasn't sharing. Oh, that's good. Okay. So these are the positions that we're holding right now. Biggest position is Bitcoin. We're holding it because it's going up. BNB, we're holding up that it's going up. ADA, when did we buy it? We were selling it, betting that it goes down here. Didn't make much money, didn't lose any money. But when it starts going up, we bought it right here. You can see the little arrow here. We bought more, and 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 we bought more. When will we sell it? We'll sell it when it starts going down. That's basically how it works. Back to hype. Would you buy spot or use the strategy you mentioned at the beginning? I think it's the time to go all in on spot for hype. I really do. Yeah, I think it's the time to go all in on hype. So, like I say, don't pay much attention on the bullshit that I say. You should never pay much attention to someone like me. You should pay a lot more attention to what I do than what I say. And what do I do? I've got $514,000 of my own money, letting it ride on this baby. And you'll see, like you come on these calls when I hold them and you'll see how it's going. And I think it's going to be a 20x from there. And I'm going to take that 20x out and I'm going to shove it straight back into FinRev. And fuck yeah, then we're on the way to 100 mil. Like that's the goal. The goal is $5,000, turning $5,000 into $100 million. And I'm going to do it. And I fucking kid you not, I'm going to do it. And I want you with me. So any questions? I'm here with you. I've tried my best to be honest. You can run heaps of accounts, as many as you want, that in a practical sense, like, don't be a dick about it. Like, but we've never put a limit on anyone. If you want to run more, run more. Thank you, Carolina. Yeah. Yeah. So, fuck. Been a great year, guys. And a shit year, and a great year, and a shit year, and a great year. And this, it's that's what crypto's like, right? Like you just get like punched and punched and punched, and then it's great. Fuck it, we bought. What do you reckon, Caroline?
Yeah, I think it's been amazing. Totally appreciate, how tough it is when people are seeing nothing happen, seeing the drawdowns, but people have now seen how it actually works when the results come in.
Talks, bullshit runs a marathon. Yeah. And yeah, I think hype is the trade, guys. Caroline, I don't think you should sell your hype. I think you should swing for the fences with this. I think Ian should swing for the fences with this. I think it's going to be a life changer for each and every one of us. The main differences between FinRev Platinum and FinRev Gold, there's two key differences. One is you have the option to run cross-sectional momentum and cross-sectional carry as well, which are different systems. Blended together, that makes it smoother. The second big feature is you get to run multiple accounts on multiple exchanges. So you can split your risk between exchanges. If you don't, we can't definitively say that this exchange performs better than that exchange because it flips around all the time. Sometimes Binance outperforms Bybit and sometimes DYDX outperforms, and it's basically a function of coin universe. After so much sudden gains, do you think FinRev gains will slow down a bit? Maybe, but it feels to me that either we're going to have a pretty significant pullback in FinRev, or FinRev is going to like have the best 3 months it's ever had. And I just can't split between those. And I think you got to bet. I think now's the time that you got to have a bet on crypto keeping running. I think, if you've been following this market for years, your number one risk here is just being underexposed to the market that you followed every fucking year for years and years and years. Your number one risk is being underexposed. So I think if ever there was a time to push your chips into the table and say, we're not sure. Actually, this is an important point. So what do the best trades feel like? The best trades feel like they pucker your ass a little bit to take. Anytime you feel like it's a slam dunk, rock solid gimme trade, it's probably due for a pullback. Yeah, I used MetaMask to buy Hyperliquid. There's an instructional video on it, and we might do a call on that. I think we should do a call on that. Yeah, the exit strategy. Well, I'm going to use exactly the same FinRev algo to time. Let me show you the exit strategy. So I think this is the Solana of this cycle. So let's look at last cycle, and Solana it is. And let me show you how to time an exit on a big winning coin, because this is how we're going to fucking do it. There was another question about Retardio. Do I like Retardio still? I love Retardio. These cult coins are out of favor at the moment while the attention is on other things. But I love this. I bought this here. This has been a big part of my success this year. I bought $2,200 worth at this arrow here, and it is now $300,000 worth here, and it's been as high as $500,000. I think this is going to be a $1 to $2 coin, is what I think. If we get a bull market and these cult coins don't die, and it shows signs that it's not dying. And why do I think it's not dying? I'll show you why. For a start, it's continually gaining users all the time. So even though the price is going down, you can see the holder change. We're adding more users is green days as holders going down, red days as holders going up. The distribution of coins is very, very nice. We don't have a situation where the top 10 holders can dominate supply. And we've got a long average hold time. These aren't like people in like the newest peanut meme that are going to be out next week. Like the average hold time is over 150 days. Like this is a cult that people join and people stay. And so I really like Retardio. So back to the question of how do we run the exit on Hyper? Let's look at Solana. Let's look at the last five. So Solana was the big winner last set. I think we're somewhere here in Solana. So let's say, how do you time the exit? If you're way at the highs when Solana was 248, you wait until you see our algo predicting that it's going to go negative and you jump out about here. So we'll give back a little bit at the end. So the high was $260 and we were out completely by $200. It's going to be something like that with Hype. Maybe give back a bit more because I'll probably be a bit emotionally invested in, but it'll be something like this and I'll be using this. That's basically how I'll be doing it. Any more questions? Should I invest in Hyperliquidity pools instead of Uniswap? Absolutely, they're way better. Yeah. Can you store Hype on MetaMask? Yes. Is there anything new in the programming to mitigate drawdowns better than last time? Yes, this is the FinRev 3.0 improvements. They will not necessarily, the improvements won't be for everyone. They're just going to mitigate drawdowns. And truthfully, a 30% drawdown isn't that much. Pick any altcoin, they've all gone down more than 30%. They went down 70%. It just feels painful. Where on the Sol chart do you think we are? I think Hype is. I think Hype is going to 10x almost certainly in a bull market, unless the bull market ends. And I think it's probably a 50% chance of a 20x and probably a 10% chance of a 50x. And that's the way that I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it like a probability distribution, not like a this is going to happen. Because anytime some asshole like you tells me they can tell you what's going to happen in the future, it's like, well, if you're so fucking smart, why aren't you rich? Like, you shouldn't be listening to people who think they can predict the future. Because, okay, and let's look at that. Let's look at some of my biggest predictions about the future. Fucking roll Bitcoin. I was so red hot on this coin. I was so red hot on this coin. And it's done fucking nothing. Fuck, it's coming back though. I thought it was the coins that I am passionate about aren't necessarily the winners. I don't pick any winners. I don't pick winners better than you guys. I just hold them better. Like really, honestly, I don't pick winners better than anyone. I just hold them better. I just got more balls. That's it. I've had like well under 50% win rate this year, well under. And I made $1.26 million starting with $5,000 right in front of you. How? There's a time to hold them and there's a time to fold them and there's a time to push your chips into the middle of the table. And I feel very strongly that this is the time to push your chips into the middle of the table. Devs reckon they'll have it done by the end, have Hyperliquid done by the end of next week, but they're bullshitting me, so probably 2 weeks after that. You got any charities you like, Scott? Yes, I like the Soy Dog Foundation in Thailand. I'm a big fan of the rescue dog efforts. Yeah. Any questions? Just fucking. Where do you buy Retardio? You can buy it inside your Phantom wallet or any Solana exchange. There's a bunch of centralized exchanges that have it now. To buy Hyperliquid, it's kind of a ball ache. You have to do this DeFi bridge you need USDC and you need it on the Arbitrum network. And we're going to put together a call to show people how to do it. Yeah, great answer, fella. Yeah, you can only send USDC and it has to be on the Arbitrum network. And I don't know about you guys, but anytime I'm doing any bridging or anything to other networks, it fills me with this unholy anxiety. And you want to do like $100 test transaction first. You know, I hate bridging. It's awful. And it's awful. It's awful. It's scary. What do you think of the idea of rotating out of SUI into Hype? I got some SUI. I've got some SUI myself. It's a proven winner. I mean, look at this. It's balls out. So let's put them together. Yeah, a lot of this is a little bit of this is like Hyperliquid's done way better, obviously, but a little, but shit, Sui's not exactly like you wouldn't kick her out of bed in the morning for farting, right? Like, if you're not happy with this performance, like, you know, you need your head read. It's very Sui is very good. Fart coin. I really like the coin. I think I'm holding it. I think it's I think it's a cool concept, which is that there's no socials, no nothing. It's just simply like everybody farts. It's at 23 cents. We bought it at like under a cent. We bought it somewhere down here. No, we bought it at 3. It's at 23. We bought it somewhere around here, and I think it's going to go for another run. And I think it's going to be $1 per fart coin, at least. I think it's a cool concept. Will fart coin follow through? Shark coin. Yes, you can, Dr. Barry Smith. I don't know about Rabby, but I know MetaMask you definitely can because I've done that. Okay, so let me show you how to get into the Hyperliquid liquid pools. So you go to Vaults, and
Not sharing.
sorry. So in Hyperliquid, you go from trade to Vaults, and you'll see these vaults come up. Hyperliquidity provider is here. So it's earning 31% a year, and there's 188 million bucks worth of doing it. It's been going for 581 days, and this is the snapshot. So we click on that, and we can get a bunch of statistics on it about the vault performance, how much money it's made over time, its max drawdown, and all the rest of it. And you just click on deposit funds and click on deposit, and it's deposit. When you want your money back, you click on withdraw, click on max. Fuck, I've got 1,800 bucks in the fucking, fuck, I didn't know that. Fuck, I didn't know. There you fucking go. So to hit withdraw, you just click withdraw, takes it out. Why would I withdraw? Like, it's earning good money. Basically. Yeah, so that's how you do it. Because this is all on chain, you can see what they're holding. You can see right now this is what the vault is holding. And they earn the funding and blah blah blah. So, guys, I don't want to take up any more of your time. This is enough. Yeah, you should all be I think Pendle is doing very well. You should hold Pendle. I think let's take a quick look. Not doing as well as Sui, but it's doing pretty well. How to stake hype, you can't yet. That's the next thing that they're going to add, probably, and they're very fast at adding stuff. So that's a game changer. Render, I don't really have an opinion on. How would you add to hype holdings? This is a really good question. How would I add to hype holdings right now? Here's what I would do. I would throw a VWAP. So click on indicators and go volume weighted average price, VWAP, add this line. What we see very clearly is that there's big institutional players who are adding here, here, and here. No, and here. So anytime price gets to or below VWAP, I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel. I think you just keep going back to the well with the same playbook and just keep running the same playbook until it stops working. That's what I think. Right? Thanks, guys. And you'll see, by the way, we made $50,000 while we were on this fucking call. $50,000 while we were on this call. Right? Started off, it was 400 and this morning when I checked, it was at 464. We changed that to 500. And here we are at 520. All right, guys. Thanks for your time. Book those calls.